1994 NBA playoffs. Tonight, Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Utah Jazz and the Houston Rockets.
The last game fate of Stockton and Malone, no concern of these 16,000 hungry Houston fans here in the Summit. They're here to cheer their Rockets on to a spot in the NBA Finals. Houston leads 3-1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Houston. I'm Dick Enberg, and for the Rockets, they are one game away from the NBA Big Party. And for the Utah Jazz, on the doorstep of a defeat that would end their season. Now, these professionals, most of them are multimillionaires, but their portfolio not complete without that championship ring. So for men like Karl Malone, the depth, the meaning of this game, quite incredible. He puts it in his own words.
Well, you say to yourself as a player, you know, try to get it done now because you don't know what's going to happen this summer. That's the words I put it into, because it'll be hard as hell for them to find me this summer when it's over with, that's for sure.
The mailman who suffered from the flu in games 3 and 4 says he's 100% tonight physically, but that little speech mentally says he might not be a Utah player next year.
Certainly, Karl Malone is in a great deal of mental pain about being so close to getting to play in an NBA championship and not making it. He's already made statements to say, if I can't get it done in Utah, I want to go someplace else. You know, it's a very, very emotional game for Karl Malone.
And for the Rockets, their coach, Rudy Tomjanovich, his one concern with a 3-1 lead is overconfidence.
Right from the beginning, we talked about what it takes to be a champion. And one of the things that I believe is that you have to overcome human nature. And human nature means if you won 3 in a row, you start feeling pretty good about yourself, and that 4th one, you lose it.
His coach speaking away, but there's a lot of underlying meaning there.
Well, there's no question that Rudy Tomjanovich is concerned about the emotion of the moment, and he has got to monitor his team because they're going to want to get it done all in the first quarter. They got to remember it is a 48-minute game, and they got to do things in a very patient manner, which got them to this point, because if they don't, they could stumble, and we could be playing again in Salt Lake.
So if they don't bridle the early emotion, trying to get it done right off the opening bell, it could lead to a Utah upset.
And that is what Jerry Sloan is counting on. Patience for his team and hoping that they're going to quick shoot the basketball and they can set up things that will get Karl Malone and John Stockton one more chance to get one step closer.
On these two teams, only one man that has an NBA championship ring, and the Houston Rockets have gone to him for advice, and Hannah Storm has the story.
Well, Dick, Earl Curitan seems like an unlikely source of inspiration, but he did win an NBA championship ring with the Sixers in 1983. The history lesson he gave his team on their plane ride home from Utah was about 1981, his rookie season with the 76ers. They were up 3-1 in the Eastern Conference Final against the Boston Celtics. Then they relaxed, lost their focus, lost 3 straight games, and the Celtics went on to beat the Houston Rockets for the NBA title. While most of the Rockets listened to Earl's sage advice, Hakeem Olajuwon, for one, found a better example of a team that relaxed with a lead. These very same Utah Jazz, who were up 3-0 over the Denver Nuggets in the last round and got taken to a 7th game. Dick?
All right, Hannon, we're set to go, and this game features a man drafted #1, first player picked in 1984 out of the University of Houston. 10 years later, he's the NBA's top man. Hakeem Olajuwon focuses on tomorrow.
With the Toyota Touch lease, there's never been a better time to lease a Toyota, and never a better time to lease a Toyota Corolla. For only $179 a month, you get Corolla's legendary reputation for reliability, dual airbags, air conditioning, power steering, 4-speaker stereo, and more. For only $179 a month, the Toyota Corolla and the Toyota Touch lease. In today's economy, it's perfect timing.
If another company is promising your business big savings compared to AT&T, compare our best price to theirs. You may discover those big savings are just an illusion. Leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
This Father's Day, Give him the revolutionary Gillette sensor. The best a dad can get.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys.
This is the place.
Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy.
There they are.
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold one. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Cold Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By McDonald's, official restaurant of World Cup USA 94. And by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
Ready to go at the Summit, Game 5, and here are the starting lineups. For the Utah Jazz, All-NBA guard John Stockton, Jeff Hornacek. They'll try to provide some scoring punch. They have been cold, the Utah team, as a club in the last 5 quarters. Dalton Spencer, his job is to stop Hakeem Olajuwon. Benoit has had trouble scoring on the road. The mailman Carl said he's ready for the game of his life. Their coach, Jerry Sloan, winningest in Utah history, raised a family of 10 by a mother on a farm 140 acres in southern Illinois. He looks for a must-win. Against the Houston Rockets, the Midwest champions, they would have home court in the NBA Finals. Vernon Maxwell and Kenny Smith. You might as well put threes on their uniforms because that's where they'll be shooting again tonight. On the front line, the game's best, Hakeem Olajuwon, and the understated power of 6'10 forwards Ori and Thorpe. They're tough defenders, and they have been big on the defensive side. Their coach, Rudy Tomjanovich, in his 3rd season, 2nd full season, he's the son of a shoemaker in Hamtramck, Michigan. His team started 15-0 to tie an NBA record. He says, but when it counts now, how will they finish the year? Talented men, but when you come to this stage of the season, and for Utah maybe a career, they're all little boys tonight.
They're all little boys playing their dreams out, and all of those dreams end up with one of them making the winning shot in the big game, and this could be the biggest game in both teams' franchise history as they try to get to the finals, and the Houston Rockets believing this is really a chance for them to win it all.
Utah never to the NBA Finals. Houston, on the other hand, 1981 and 1986. Went to the finals and lost. The officials, Jake O'Donnell, Dick Pavetta, Steve Javy, and here we go, Game 5. Karl Malone. And Utah in purple goes on the attack. Hornacek with Vernon Maxwell. Ori backs off. Stockton and Smith. And into the mailman. Otis Thorpe has done a good job on Karl Malone, and Dalton Spencer gives Utah a second chance. Rebounding and bench scoring have been key to victories in this series. The team that rebounds best and gets most off their pines has won the game. They're going to work the clock down, and they're working against it with 3 to go. Hornacek with a long 3, rebound Olajuwon. Kenny Smith. And big games 1 and game 4. Thorpe underneath to score.
What has hurt the Utah Jazz in all of the losses is that they have been down early in the game and have to try to dig themselves out of a hole. This is a team that requires execution. They're not going to get out of a hole very easily, so they want to make sure that they stay sharp.
Dalton Spencer from Stockton can't hit the easy shot. Rebound Thorpe. Kenny Smith inside to Olajuwon. Those quick feet of Olajuwon. Maxwell for 3. It's 5-0 as
for 2 after 2 good looks.
And Olajuwon with 2 rebounds. Olajuwon has it knocked away and recovered by Ori. Ball bouncing right for Houston in that sequence. Olajuwon. Kenny Smith for 2. Nope. Maxwell for 3. Oh my! 8-0. Timeout Utah.
Showed some patience, and when they have three-point shooters parked on the line like that, they are deadly. And Maxwell, one of the great streak shooters in the NBA, sitting right in the same place, saying 2-1, I got 3.
And Vernon Maxwell pleasing Rudy Tomjanovich, as Maxwell now has 13 trays in this series. Utah as a team has 10. And Maxwell up and down with the three-pointers. Good nights and bad, but he starts hot. Hornacek. And Utah has its first points. Hornacek, who appeared in 2 NBA Western Finals with the Phoenix Suns. Olajuwon with a double team, and that'll be a travel. Olajuwon looking for a foul.
They gambled off of Robert Ori. Ori hurt them in game 4 by cutting to the basket. The last time he doesn't make a move, and that forces Olajuwon to take that extra step.
Stockton constantly looking for Malone to Benoit, and the entry to Malone from that side. Felton Spencer. And the call goes against Houston's Robert Ori.
Now, Felton Spencer is going to be the guy that's going to be available for passes to the basket because Olajuwon is going to be looking to give help. You see him slip right in there, and John Stockton finds Felton Spencer, and Spencer's got to finish at the hoop. This is the second time he's been at point-blank range and come away with nothing in terms of a field goal. He does draw the foul, and it is really important that he have better production in this game than he had in game 4, where he only came up with 1 point.
Spencer is 2 for the last 15 from the floor, but he hits both free throws. It's an 8-4 Houston lead.
Pressure on the ball is what Hornacek and Stockton want to have. They want to try to force the Houston Rockets to set up further.
Vernon Maxwell with a drive sets up the smash by Olajuwon. He hits the 20-footer over the diving try of Maxwell.
Jerry Sloan is really happy to see some outside jumpers going in here early because that was part of their downfall in game 4 in Salt Lake. They couldn't make open jump shots in that first half.
Olajuwon, that's the spot he likes. Left of the basket, just down the lane. Ori for 3. And the rocket launchers are alive tonight. Stockton from 15. It's 13-8 on his first bucket.
Stockton almost forced a turnover, but they were able to get it back, and they're trying to spring this pick and roll, and they have to go away from it.
Kenny Smith over Stockton. Rebound Karl Malone.
Game 4, they were sprinting out, trying to convert that into a fast break. That cost them. You see that they didn't really look for a break that time. They wanted to set up.
Karl Malone takes it on a tough trip up the alley, and it's 13-10 on his first points. And shaking the left-hand sense in exchange at the other end, they have bent a finger. Olajuwon triple team, so Maxwell for 3. Boy, he barely had that in his hands. Almost threw it up there. 3 threes for Mad Max.
And the word is, when Houston is making their threes, you aren't going to beat them, so they're going to have to restrict period in which the Rockets are burying three-point field goals.
Foul as Karl Malone makes his drive, and with it a time, the foul on Otis Thorpe, who fouled out of Game 4. We'll check the injury to Karl Malone when we return. 6:29 remaining in the opening quarter. Houston by 6.
NBA Inside Stuff, Saturdays on NBC.
Every 24 hours, somewhere in this country, a kid takes a gun and shoots another kid. Sometimes it's over a girl. Sometimes it's over pride. Sometimes it's because they have nothing better to do. Can you think of something better they can do? I can.
If you can't get to World Cup '94, we'd like to point out that the preliminary matches for World Cup 2010 have already begun. And luckily enough, good seats are still available. McDonald's, proud sponsor of the world's biggest soccer game. Even prouder sponsor of some of the world's smallest.
Here's what happens when most car makers talk luxury. Too much car for way too much money. Luckily, there's Toyota Tercel DX. 2-door, 4-door, one price. Which gets you air conditioning, 4-speaker stereo, and all this other stuff. They call it the extra value package. I call it saving up to $650. You'll call it the right amount of car for the right amount of money. And it's a Toyota, because in the end, the best luxury is peace of mind.
We're back at the Summit. Let's take a look at where we feel that he might have been injured, Karl Malone. Number 32 to the left of your picture.
Karl Malone is trying to make a play for the ball and swings at the ball. Didn't quite get it. May have somehow injured the finger, and he's shaking it.
Anna Storm has a report.
Okay, according to Utah trainer Don Sparks, he jammed the knuckle of the ring finger on his left hand to Karl Malone, and they administered some freezing spray, and indeed, he did appear to be in quite a bit of pain during that timeout. Dick?
No, that's one of the Karl Malone trademarks. He swipes at the ball, and he creates a lot of steals and turnovers with his quick hands, and that time bending the finger, and now at the line. We'll see if it has any impact here.
Well, the best thing is it wasn't on the shooting hand. It was on the off hand, the left hand. So Karl Malone, who struggled in Game 4 down the stretch with free throws, trying to make amends, gets his first one to go in.
Hits both free throws, 16-12. Houston's lead, once 8-0, down to 4. Olajuwon's favorite shot. He has 4.
Well, one of the few times Felton Spencer didn't get help, Olajuwon goes one-on-one and gets to Bay. That's the shot that Benoit has to see go in. That was good to the mark, just bounced out on him, but he's got to continue to look to try to make that shot.
Olajuwon now around the horn and right back to the game. Throws it away, and Horry can't save. Utah ball.
In single coverage, Olajuwon is unstoppable. Benoit has been running to him. This time he doesn't. Stockton doesn't get there. The results, it is a thing of beauty.
18-12. Houston leading. 5.5 left in this opening quarter. Spencer has it knocked away by Akeem, and he just is such a giant at both ends of the court.
Jeffries in the ball game. John Stockton down for the first time.
This is a common pattern for Jerry Sloan to give Stockton a breather in the first quarter. The Lakers has had some good games in the playoffs and was critical in their victory in Game 3, the only Utah win. Another miss by Benoit, and Benoit is the guy that they gamble off of. Horry. Wow! Horry shot out of a cannon down that left wing. Otis Thorpe's rebound set it up.
Robert Horry is similar to David Benoit in that they are flyers, and he flies hard, throws it down with two hands, and gets a chance to go to the line, but Kenny Smith gives it to him early. Might have got away with him one extra step, but on a play like that, you got to have something.
Horry with a three-point play and now has 6 points in the game. That's the biggest lead now for Houston. They've made 8 out of 10 field goals, the Rockets.
What the Jazz need is somebody to keep them close right now. They got to be able to stay within that 6 to 8 point range while they're so hot. Felton Spencer has not been able to deliver the goods inside, turns it over.
Olajuwon's defense, and then Maxwell picks it up. Into Olajuwon. Back to Horry. Houston doing everything right, and they lead by 11.
What created that chance at the other end was Olajuwon against Spencer, and Spencer is not that nimble at the offensive end, and out of it, you get the ball inside. Now, the best thing you can do is cut to the basket. Horry, again, who loves to play above the rim, throws 2 more down.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. The cold ones. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste.
You know, I've been looking for that.
The world is a very cool place. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
Maybe it's our rugged shift on the move 4-wheel drive. Maybe it's our high-track independent suspension. Or maybe our powerful V6. Whatever the reason, 1993 was the 14th year in a row 4x4 buyers made Toyota the best-selling compact 4x4. Hey, maybe nobody wants to walk home from here. Toyota trucks, you just gotta love them.
A roof over their heads. Food on the table. Rules to follow. Values to live by. All the things you provide to give your family a sense of security and well-being, including this important piece of protection from the leader in individual life insurance. Because you want to be able to sleep at night too. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Falling in love again. What am I to do? Whenever I see you, I can't help it. In love again. Oh, what am I to do?
At Pizza Hut, now that any medium specialty pizza is only $7.99 and any second medium just $5, it's a great time to fall in love again with Pizza Hut. You can't help it.
Tonight on The Tonight Show, Penny Marshall, Dennis Hopper, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
The Tonight Show, you know us, we're the people that follow your goofy news guy.
Then Conan's got Andy McDowell, NBC Tonight.
Kenny Smith, a native of New York City, and his shooting in Game 4 critical to a 2-point Houston win. And looking ahead, he said, I want to take that luxury. He knows the meaning of an NBA Finals appearance.
I think overall this is a great opportunity for our team and to, in some sense, come out of obscurity. But I always remember growing up watching the Knicks play, and Walt Frazier used to always say, is the regular season you make your name, but the playoff is where you make your fame. So maybe some of us will get famous now.
Regular season, you make your name, but the playoffs, you make your fame, says Clyde, Walt Frazier. Kenny Smith, he's had 2 sensational games in this series. Ty Corbin makes his first appearance for Utah, number 23. Oh, Houston just incredibly hot shooting to start. Malone. Malone moving outside to score his 6th point. It's 23-14.
The one thing that the Houston Rockets are doing with all of that emotion, they are staying within their game. You haven't had anyone trying to do too much. They've been able to share the basketball, and they've got production from everybody. Maxwell for 3.
His first miss, but Thorpe recovers for Houston. Horry, Maxwell said, how about this one? 26-14, 12 points on 4 trays by Vernon Maxwell.
That's 5 in the quarter. Horry got 1, and so they've got everything cooking for them right now. The Utah Jazz have to remember to show some patience. Vernon Maxwell got nailed on a screen and coming out of an illegal defense against Felton Spencer.
That's a warning against Houston, illegal defense.
Tyrone Corbett is in the ball game. David Benoit had a 7-minute run, but he was not able to produce at the offensive end, so Jerry Sloan is letting him sit and hoping that Ty Corbett, who's shooting about 18%, can get it going.
10 on the clock as Humphreys against Maxwell. Tough ball away. Thorpe snatches the rebound. His 4th. Now 10 is the all-time playoff record for 3-point shots made, and Houston has 5 in this opening quarter. The Dream. Back out to the Dream. He just has the whole package.
And the problem is that right now the Utah Jazz defense is confused. Not only are they not getting the board, but then they're not getting to the men to keep some pressure on them, and they've got to begin to carve away defensively to shut this team down.
Hornacek hits a 2-pointer. 28-16. Jeff Hornacek with a half dozen. 2 minutes remaining in this opening quarter.
2 minutes in the quarter. 2 minutes.
To be within 6 or 8 points at the end of this hot shooting first quarter would be ideal for the Utah Jazz. Olajuwon
short on that one over Spencer, and out comes Corbin. He has Spencer open down court, but elects to play it safe. Malone over Thorpe. 28-18. 8 points for the mailman.
The crowd knows that the Houston Rockets have given back leads. And, they are very nervous about that because they're all so close to going to the big show.
Remember Phoenix here, 18-point lead 4th quarter, and they lost to the Suns. Horry, another 3, 6 in the quarter.
What'd you say the record was?
10, and they've got 6 in this first period.
10 in the quarter?
10 in the whole game of the playoffs. That's a reasonable question, however. Corbin for 3. Maxwell with a rebound. So what is falling for Houston is not for the Jazz, as we're in the final minute. Smith for 3. And another second chance as Otis Thorpe has been a demon on the boards. 5 rebounds. And now about 11 seconds difference in the 2 clocks. They've already set an individual record for a period. Maxwell hitting 4 threes. Horry misses on the slam. And a foul apparently on Felton Spencer.
Spencer is going to say, Mr. Bavetta, I was just standing there. This man's imagination got away from him. There's no way he was going to be able to get to the rim right here. Horry coming, and watch, Felton Spencer gets out of the way, but Robert Horry, who's had a hot hand in a hot period, gets another break.
First foul on Spencer. So with 19.3 seconds left, Horry, who spent a painful couple of days in a hotel room in Minneapolis, he had been traded apparently to the Timberwolves for Sean Elliott. He and Matt Bullard and then the trade not completed when Elliott didn't pass the medical exam back here in Houston for the Detroit Pistons. He would have been in pain if he had been in Minneapolis, not even in the right city. It was Detroit with a Sean Elliott. And the deal not consummated, and here he is contributing toward the Houston cause as they aim for an NBA final spot. Final seconds and final shot apparently for Utah.
Hornacek trying to get all the way to the hole. He's had a hot hand, but the other players have been so hot that you haven't noticed what he's done. He's got 8 1/4.
0.8 of a second, and one of the few shots that Houston didn't make in this opening period from long range, and Mad Max, true to his name, 4 3-point shots, a playoff, tying a playoff mark for a quarter as Houston celebrates up 13 after 1.
If you lust for power, try this. 1,340 cc's of rolling thunder. It's called Harley-Davidson, and you'll find it in all its glory at Southeast Harley in Cleveland, where you can get anything from an FXR to a BLT. But if you go, bring your love of the 2-lane blacktop and your Visa card, because at Southeast Harley, they'll take you to hog heaven, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Another company may be promising your business big savings compared to AT&T, but they're comparing apples to oranges. When you compare our best price to theirs, you'll discover leaving AT&T doesn't make a lot of sense.
No matter how far the journey, the need to make it home is basic, instinctual, undeniable. A 1994 Toyota 4Runner. For the way there, for the way back.
This is a bucket of water. And this is the new Goodyear Eagle Aqua Tread for performance cars. A wide performance tire with twin aqua channels to sweep water away for outstanding wet traction. New Eagle Aqua Tread, only from Goodyear.
Face off against Mullins. He takes it up the boards. Oh, penalty against Johnson.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade with real juice for the taste you'll crave.
Oh, hooking riser to the penalty box. Roughing, draping. Boy, the penalty box is a popular place today.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade, raspberry, cranberry, and original.
There's nobody left to foul.
Houston Rockets with a 3-1 advantage and a 13-point lead in the first quarter. Vernon Maxwell, 4 for 5 from 3-point range. There were those who doubted Maxwell, and the NBA would be one early in his career, Denver and San Antonio. So this is a time for him to prove his point.
A lot of people said I wouldn't make it in my first, I wouldn't make it first year in the league when I came in because of the situation that I came in upon. And I felt like I proved a lot of people wrong, and I made my mom proud of me, and that's the most important thing for me, to have her proud of me. And so if she's proud, my family's happy, what I've accomplished, I'm happy, and I'm having fun doing what I'm doing, and I'm making a lot of money. And so I'm like I said, I'm just happy I proved a lot of people wrong.
Now we go to the second quarter, 33-20. And, of course, with a focal point on Elijah Maxwell figures to get some open 3 chances as we continue. Let's go to Hannah Storm.
Well, Jerry Sloan is more concerned with the Rockets' defense than their offense. He says the Rockets are taking the Jazz out of their offensive position. He encouraged his team to set better screens, and the Jazz are going to go to a passing game, Dick, to see if they can put more points on the board.
And we'll see some new faces here. Anna Sam Cassell, a rookie from Florida State, is in the game for the first time. Maxwell, a long 3. It comes out to Cassell. Cassell, who almost lost the game in Game 4 in Utah with some mistakes down the stretch. Elijah
The thing that the Utah Jazz can take heart in is that the Phoenix Suns saw one of these blistering first half thrown against them, actually 3 quarters, and then all of that three-point shooting stalled, and they were able to get into the game. But they've got to find their offensive rhythm. Olajuwon takes that one away.
A rare turnover by Stockton. Cassell at the other end, and he was fouled from behind by Karl Malone, and that'll be second on the mailman.
Utah's 32, Karl Malone, second personal.
Get the ball inside to Olajuwon in single coverage, and you'll get those kind of results. There's not enough pressure on the passer. Tom Chambers is not a matchup for Olajuwon, and he's going to be looking down and over the top of Tom Chambers all night long. Karl Malone, in trying to run down Sam Cassell, ran right up his back and picked up the personal foul.
Cassell in the last game, 10 points, was 4 for 4 from the line, along with 2 personals. Olajuwon will be rested, as Felton Spencer is for Utah. He goes out with 8 points. And the veteran Earl Curitan, former 76er, 36 years old, is in for the Houston Rockets, replacing Olajuwon.
It should be a short breather for Olajuwon, but this is a chance for the Utah Jazz to start taking the ball to the rim. Shot blocking is only out there in the presence of Robert Horry, and he usually comes off the ball.
Maxwell almost forcing the turnover. Humphreys off the side of the rim. Here comes Horry, who has had a great first half already. 13 points. His previous high in any game was 11, but he turns it over.
Got too far underneath the basketball. Most of the times you don't see that call made. A quiet Rudy Tomjanovich on that call. You can see Horry got way underneath and lost it, and right in front of Jake O'Donnell.
37-20, the biggest lead of the game for the Rockets.
John Stockton is being doubled, and they're forcing him to play in a backward mode, and that's hurt them.
Ty Corbin from Stockton, rebound Thorpe. Averaged over 10.5 a game in the regular season, Otis Thorpe. Robert Horry. 15 points for the former Alabama star.
Jerry Sloan wants another timeout. He's certainly got to come up with something that's going to stop this juggernaut that's headed for the final.
Houston with a big quarter, and they score the first 6 of the second.
The Pacers and Knicks go prime time. Game 5 tomorrow night on NBC.
As I was saying, I'll bring the cold drafts, and you just bring those beautiful eyes of yours.
Yeah. Could you hold on?
When cold filtered isn't cool enough.
Hi, it's your shot.
Ice draft.
I've got to go.
Susan?
It's ice brewed below freezing, then cold filtered. For a smoother, better draft, taste the future. Ice draft. Only from Budweiser.
Some mountains are over 500 million years old. And while water still covers over 2/3 of them, Jeep covers the rest.
These 3 such very good friends wanted a glorious son of St. Thomas. But one evening, the tall one lost her money and her credit cards. And as soon as she mentioned Citibank Visa, no problem, I told her. Call this minute. Go on. They're open all the time. Well, she got a new card in one day. I see credit cards from all around the world. And with Citibank, it's always the same thing. No problem.
Not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by new Ice Brewed Ice Draft from Budweiser. Taste the future of draft beer. By AT&T, the official telecommunications company of the NBA. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA.
Welcome back to the Space City. And they're shooting in outer space tonight, 67%. And tomorrow night, more NBA primetime action on NBC at 9 o'clock Eastern. The Pacers and Knicks in Game 5. They're tied at 2 games each. And as long as this series continues, we'll be alternating East and West at 9 o'clock each night throughout this week on NBC, the NBA playoffs. 19-point lead. Houston with an 11-2 run. They scored all 6 points of this second quarter. Corbin loose underneath to score. Malone with the assist.
So they finally get a small forward on the board, a quick cut to the hoop for Ty Corbin, and they can do more of that because they don't have Olajuwon in the game. The Jazz has to have a goal of trying to cut the lead to 10. They can't do it that way.
That was Earl Curidan, the oldest man in the game, the 36, with a setup from the youngest on the Houston roster, Sam Cassell. Great one-handed pass off the dribble by Stockton, one of his trademarks. Malone now with 10.
Back-to-back buckets right at the rim for the Utah Jazz. So as long as Olajuwon's out, they're going to try to attack inside. They're coming back to Otis Thorpe against Tom Chambers in a pick and roll.
Maxwell. Curidan. The old man with 2 straight baskets. Earl Curidan. Earl the twirl.
Well, the twirl is right there. He doesn't have to bring out that hook shot that he threw down against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Stockton short. Thorpe with another rebound. He has 6.
But offensive rebounds have really hurt the Utah Jazz in this first half of play. Second chance points along with 3-point shooting.
Cassell playing with so much confidence for a rookie. He didn't play in 14 games. Rudy Tomjanovich didn't use him early in the season. 14 games sat on the bench, and as the season developed, so did Cassell, and now a very important figure in this Rocket plan.
Trying to come inside to Malone. They're going to get a foul against Earl Curidan. Curidan knows the meaning of hang around. He's hung around to extend his career. He's knows where to be in order to do the right things, right close. Another putback. So with Olajuwon on the bench, Rudy Tomjanovich sees his lead continue to build.
Curidan said, only in America. I was in Sioux City playing just a couple of months ago. I was going to go with Magic Johnson to Tokyo as an all-star team player. Corbin. Rebound by Curidan. Great shape for his age. And he brings that experience with the 76ers to this Houston team. Mario Elie, his first shot just off the bench. Here comes Stockton. The pace is to the liking of the Rockets as Hornacek shoots quickly. Corbin. Stolen by Cassell. Stockton to beat. Loses the handle.
Now that's when your imagination does get away from you. And Sam Cassell had some magical play going. Lost control of the ball. Fortunate enough to call a timeout.
22nd timeout by Rudy Tomjanovich.
Fearless is the way that they describe Sam Cassell because he just plays the game. Right now he's having fun, and he saw something and said, well, but I couldn't control it.
Cassell, this is his 89th game as a rookie, and there's the full timeout now called by Tomjanovich or not. They said 20. And it is a 20. Cassell has played 89 games this year. If you add his last 3 years in college at San Jacinto Junior College in Texas and 2 years at Florida State, they total only 8 more games than that. You see, 97 games in 3 years, 89-1, and yet he's just playing with all the fire and enthusiasm, and even his teammates marvel in his boyish attitude about what's going on. 45-24, Houston, and all Rockets from the opening launch.
Count clock at 3.
Maxwell fires up one, and 24-second violation. Remember Olajuwon on the bench during this run.
Vernon Maxwell Maxwell, realizing the clock is going off, he stumbled, and Puritan couldn't get it to the rim in time, so they get a violation. And Utah Jazz, they need more breaks like that. Elijah Wan back in the game. Rudy Tomjanovich not only giving him a nice long breather, but doesn't want to see anything come cheap close to the rim.
And Brian Russell in for Utah. He has barely played in this playoff. And Cassell called for stripping Felton Spencer. His first. And a timeout.
Karl Malone makes a nice save and then sees a cutting Felton Spencer. Nice dish for Karl Malone as he's trying to find a way to get his team back in.
This is a Goodyear Aqua Tread with a 60,000-mile warranty, and this is a bucket of water. At highway speeds, Goodyear Aqua Tread pumps away over a gallon of water every second, thanks to its deep groove aqua channel. Over a gallon a second, that's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it. The next time it's pouring buckets. The all-season Aqua Tread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Excuse me, Sonny!
When the NBA comes out to play, they're slamming down a lot of Gatorade. Scientifically tested, athletically proven Gatorade. Kicking it to y'all.
This is the Eagle Vision TSI. With an 11-speaker spatial imaging sound system, solar control windshield, even driver and passenger airbags. Chrysler Corporation's revolutionary cab-forward design gives you more room inside. Eagle Vision also includes a 24-valve, 214-horsepower engine, as well as anti-lock brakes. Those of you looking for a simulated wood grain dashboard, we've got bad news for you.
The Radio City Rockettes present I Love This Game.
This weekend, the French Open heats up on NBC. Friday, the men's semifinals. Saturday, the ladies' final. And Sunday, the men's final. The French Open presented by Fresca. This weekend.
The new face in the crowd here in Houston, Sam Cassell, the rookie from Baltimore Dunbar High School. And a high school play in some ways. He was caught by John Stockton. Remember in Game 4, 2-point game, and Cassell, with Houston having the ball, tricked into a foul by the veteran Stockton. Here's his reaction.
That play will always stick in my mind because that could have been the turning point of the whole series right there. We could have went back here 2-2 instead of 3-1. I think Stockton, the classy veteran he is, he baited me into making that. One day, I'm gonna bait another young guy coming in the league. I'm gonna do the same thing with him. And after the foul, it's like, oh, and I was like, wow, yeah. I couldn't hide. The cameras was on. I tried to hide. I couldn't hide.
No hiding, and be warned, some young man, maybe a freshman, sophomore in college, you run into Sam Cassell at a critical point, you might see that one played on you. He has 4 points and 3 assists in the first half as Felton Spencer goes to the line for Utah. Jerry Sloan's team down by 21. 6:55 left in the half.
Jerry Sloan is trying to find some production from the small forward position. Russell, who started the year, is at small forward in the ball game now, and we'll see how he performs under the gun.
Cassell running the show.
Trying to get that pick and roll for Otis Thorpe.
Tipped by Hornacek to Spencer, and here comes Stockton. Nice pass to Malone. Out of bounds to Houston.
The problem for Malone was also sprinting along with him was Elijah Olajuwon, he gets right down into the lane and has to make a quick adjustment because Olajuwon's there with the outstretched hand. So that quick transition opportunity goes for nothing.
Smith and Cassell, 4. Olajuwon and Ellie with the ball to Olajuwon. Stolen by Hornacek.
They got numbers. Can they catch?
The rookie from Cal State Long Beach, Russell, unable to hit the shot, but gets it back. Midpoint of this second quarter, 6 minutes before intermission. 45-25, Houston. Malone. He has 12 to lead the Jazz.
Well, Karl Malone may have to take every shot the rest of the game long if he is to really make a last stand here because he got to feel like custard right now.
Olajuwon right back to Cassell. Brings down the 3. Ellie has his first basket. Mario Ellie went to Power Memorial in New York City. Played with Chris Mullin, the Golden State star, a couple of years in high school. Hornacek has it stripped. Olajuwon. Cassell to Smith. Very, very impressive half for the Houston Rockets. Their biggest lead now, 22. Illegal defense, and that'll be a technical foul shot by Utah.
A steal by Kenny Smith got them going the other way. Now it's a track meet in a 2-on-1 situation with John Stockton not being able to catch up. Sam Cassell with another assist and a big reaction saying, this is my quarter. I may not play the rest of the game.
And Hornacek, who had missed only 1 free throw the entire series and only 5 in all of the playoffs, misses the technical, and that's symbolic of a frustrating half for the Jazz. He gets this one. Hornacek, a long 2. He has 10 points. The lead is 20 for the home team Rockets. Kenny Smith didn't save it. His foot was on the center line as he went into the backcourt.
Kenny Smith trying to make the stretch to get there. Almost looked like he stepped on the sideline and trying to get back. They turn it over, but these turnovers have not helped the Utah Jazz. See if they get some production out of this possession.
Stockton takes it in and out of bounds to Utah. Cassell with a block.
The Utah Jazz have just not been able to get anything clean in terms of looking at the basket. The defensive energy of the Houston Rockets has been outstanding. Karl Malone inside.
And the foul. And Kenny Smith went hard to the floor in that exchange. Olajuwon the foul, his first. Prays 5 times every day, Gala, and on the road takes a prayer rug with him and a compass so he can face east, and prayers starting at daybreak and just before retiring for the night. His West Coast trips are difficult with his religious relationships because of the time difference. Malone a miss. You know, more than just the most valuable player, talk about him being the most valuable person here in Houston. He's the complete man. 49-30 Houston as Malone cashes his 13th point of the half. Hardly enough, as this has been about as perfect a half as Houston could possibly, or any team could play.
You've got to believe Jerry Sloan is saying they can't stay this hot. They can't be this good the entire ball game. Olajuwon from deep.
Miss, and here comes Stockton. Spencer blocked by Olajuwon, recovered by Russell, blocked again.
Defensive Player of the Year. Spencer trying to go on his own. Bad idea. Russell gets the ball, tries to come out the other side. Another bad idea. And Olajuwon picks up the foul against Russell. But they have not been able to get inside with Olajuwon's presence out on the floor.
The Dream with 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. The league's most valuable player, the league's most valuable defensive player. Crowd chanting MVP as Smith out to Thorpe. Thorpe with an 18-footer, and Spencer rebounds, and Olajuwon steals and scores! A highlight film in this last 3 minutes for Hakeem. Two-pointer for Hornacek. Dalton Spencer with the offensive boards.
Now they're trying to be patient, but they've got to look at the shot when it's there.
Yeah, Malone had one there.
That's right. Karl Malone is making shots. He can't afford to pass that up and then see the ball end up in the wrong person's hand, and they don't get a score. Deeper shot, but he got it to go.
A tougher shot. 51-32, 15 for Malone. The one bright spot in the half for the Jazz. Rudy Tomjanovich with a timeout with 2:33 left in this first half.
Olajuwon has always been an opportunist. You have the ball around him. You got to be aware where he is. Felton Spencer thought he had it. Handball. Tipped that ball from underneath, and he is able to get it. You watch. Felton Spencer thought he had it. The quick hands of Olajuwon turns into 2 points. A big game for Olajuwon.
Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to Bakersville?
Sure. Take 23 north to M33 west to I-14 south, and you're there.
Thanks.
You bet.
Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to Bakersville?
Head right over those mountains.
Thanks.
Hello from Plank Road, where our man Paul has gotten lots of calls and letters asking, is ice beer really beer frozen like ice? Nope. Paul says that would be beer on a stick, not an ice beer. Ice House is ice beer. Ice brewed so there's never any watered down taste, just more of what you want in a beer. Ice brewed Ice House. It's not frozen, but you can sample a frosty cold one almost anywhere. Thanks, and enjoy.
Falling in love again. What am I to do? Whenever I see you, I can't help it. In love again. Oh, what am I to do?
At Pizza Hut, now that any medium specialty pizza is only $7.99 and any second medium just $5, it's a great time to fall in love again. With Pizza Hut, you can't help it.
Yesterday in Indiana, it was Miller time. Reggie Miller's 31 points led the Pacers to victory as they proved that there's no place like home. Now, with the series tied at 2, the scene shifts back to the Big Apple, where the Knicks are undefeated in the playoffs. It's the critical Game 5 in prime time. The Eastern Finals continue tomorrow night at 9 Eastern on NBC.
Hello, folks. Bob Costas in New York. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll bring you Peter Vessey's conversation with the Knicks' Patrick Ewing, the off-the-court side of Patrick Ewing, rarely seen. The Knicks and the Pacers play Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, and that series, of course, is tied at 2-all. We'll also review some of the sports news of the day, including Mike Krzyzewski's decision to stay at Duke. And Julius Erving will offer his insights on the first half of the Rockets and the Jazz. Houston leads it by 19. And apparently bound for the finals as we send it back to Dick Enberg and Snapper Jones at the Summit. Dick?
All right, Bob, and the mention of Patrick Ewing, of course, 10 years ago in the NCAA championship game, Georgetown and Patrick Ewing against Houston and Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler. Also involved in the finals with the University of Houston by Slamma Jamma. And Olajuwon left after his junior year under Guy Lewis here at the University of Houston and just gets better every season. 51-32 for the Jazz. A just like to cut that lead down to 12-14. There's Olajuwon, misses again. Rebound Russell. Hornacek. The runner's not there. Olajuwon touched it last.
Otis Thorpe is coming out like he took a shot and is a little slow in recovering. On the runner, Olajuwon can't control it, and the Utah Jazz get a rare second chance.
Thorpe holding his right side. He had trouble earlier in this playoffs where they bruised the right side. Stockton for three. He thought he had it. Didn't go, but he gets his own rebound. A wild flip back out. What a save by Stockton.
Because the Jazz can't knock it down from the perimeter, the Rockets defense is really aggressive. Felton Spencer again trying to go inside.
Olajuwon knocked it away, and Spencer misses. Hit the underside of the rim. Thorpe comes up with it for Houston. To Kenny Smith. He'll hold it up as Olajuwon still at midcourt. 10 on the clock. Smith. Olajuwon. 3 straight misses, but there's Ori. Oh, my. Hornacek in midair couldn't get himself in control. Slams into Olajuwon. Fans booing, but no malice of forethought there.
The ball comes to Robert Ori and a quick pass out, and John Stockton will dive in here thinking that ball was going to go up at that point, and the heads come together, and Olajuwon goes to the floor. Stockton's got to be very aggressive and try to get his team some defensive energy, trying to apply pressure on the ball right now, but they let it get in too deep.
Two-pointer for Ori is dead center. What a half for Alabama's Ori. 17 points for him. Averaging 8 in the series. Fans still unhappy as they boo Stockton for the defensive play. Great pass out to Malone. No travel. And a three for Hornacek. Fans thought that Hornacek, prior to that shot that Utah had traveled, Malone went up, came down without a dribble.
Had 1 foot nailed to the ground, so he was able to make the play.
Spencer with a defensive play out of bounds to Utah with 21 seconds left in the half. Well, these are the little things that happened to Houston.
Carmelo looked like he had an open shot. The Rockets ran at him twice, but that other foot never came up, and the ball went down, and the crowd went wild the other way. They're booing John Stockton every time he touches the ball now.
Nick Pivetta says he saw some perspiration on the court, wants to have that. Or coins, apparently. Houston, by the way, has a foul to give here. 9 seconds plus on the clock.
Rudy has everything going for him, an 18-point advantage. He's not thinking about wasting anything right now. Their defense has been good enough to force the Utah Jazz to take Curry to the last shot. So they've had everything the way they've wanted it here in the first half of play.
And the foul will be on Kenny Smith. He had to fight through a pick by Spencer and got to Stockton for the foul, but they had a foul to give.
But that was a foul out of frustration. He got pinched by Karl Malone and Felton Spencer trying to bust through right there. I'm mad. He gave Felton Spencer a little whack there and decided, well, I'll just give one more.
2 seconds. Blocked by Thorpe. Spencer scores at the buzzer. Does it count? No. Not in time. So it starts poorly for Utah, red hot for Houston, and it ends on a negative note. Spencer just misses, beating the clock.
They deny Jeff Hornacek, and Spencer is finally there and says, look, I need to. Desperately.
It started with a three-point shooting of Vernon Maxwell. Utah makes a mild rally, but the Rockets with a sizable lead at the intermission. Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report coming right up after these messages.
Imagination can take your mind to incredible places. For about $18,300, Jeep Cherokee Sport will make sure the rest of you gets there too.
And so we witnessed a historic moment in sports, an unbelievable victory. Never seen a locker room quite as chaotic as this one.
As you can see, it's complete pandemonium. Bobby, how's it feel?
There's no doubt. This is the proudest day of my life.
Well, congratulations once again. And here's that call, Bobby, from America's #1 fan.
Hello, Mr. President? What? Oh, it's not him. It's one of those MCI guys. Switch from AT&T? No. Look, I don't want to talk about that. We just won the championship by 19 points. What do you mean you can top that? Hey, JJ, you give this guy my name?
If somebody offers you a deal, here's how to make sure it's a real deal.
Why don't you just put the whole deal in writing? And I'll study it in the off season. Bye-bye, MCI!
Coming through your true voice.
Friday at 8/7 Central, a special all-new eyewitness video. A raging river of ice turns a home into a houseboat.
The ice gets it, it's gone.
And this ain't no stupid pet trick, it's the amazing Scuba Dog. Plus an incredible high-flying, hang-gliding mid-air collision.
To see him walk away from that, to me, was a miracle.
Special all-new eyewitness video, 8/7 Central, NBC Friday.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Could be the end of the road for the Utah Jazz, barring a miracle comeback in the second half. They're down by 18. Houston, hitting on all cylinders, has connected on 58% in the first half. They made 6 threes in the first quarter, 4 of them by Vernon Maxwell, 53-35. Julius Erving joins us. And Doc, even sometimes when they miss the threes, it isn't so bad.
I'll tell you, it hasn't been bad for the Houston Rockets at all when they miss the threes, because they're a great offensive rebounding team in the first place. And it really becomes difficult, as you can watch on this tape, for the Jazz to recover if the Rockets are able to get an offensive rebound. They can't find them in. So Maxwell here gets 2 attempts at it, and he's a high percentage three-point shooter. And as you can see, he had that great first quarter knocking down those threes.
You know, he's hitting about 45% on threes in this series and about 20% on twos.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And, you know, one thing about it, when you get a second attempt at a three-point shot, I mean, it really is like putting the nail in the coffin if you're able to nail that shot to the other team's defense.
Interestingly, if Houston is able to win tonight, they would host the finals, which are already set to begin a week from tomorrow. So they'd have 8 days off, whether they face the Pacers or the Knicks.
Yeah, well, you know, when you look at this series, both of these teams came out of 7-game series. The Jazz are the older team. They had to travel. It didn't take so much of a toll through the first 3 games, but in the last 2 games, you can see that the young legs are making a difference in this game. And the veteran players like Malone, Hornacek, Humphreys, Chambers, they're starting to fade.
Okay, Doc, it was a busy day elsewhere in sports, a day in which Mike Krzyzewski announced that he will remain as the head coach at Duke rather than pursue NBA offers. There had been reports that Krzyzewski was considering a move to the NBA, but he decided to remain in Durham.
I have a lot of respect for the talent level, the coaching level, and how they handle everything in the NBA. I love the NBA. I should say I love this game. And but I love this game too, and I love the game of basketball, and it can be played at a high level everywhere.
Quarterfinal action of the French Open Tennis Championships took place earlier today, and the marquee match was top seed Pete Sampras against 7th seed Jim Courier. Sampras had won the last 3 Grand Slam titles, but he couldn't solve Courier today in Paris. Courier serving in the near court here, and he was in control throughout. First time these two have met on clay, a surface more suited to Courier's game. And now here's match point. Sampras will hit wide, and Courier wins it 6-4, 5-7, 6-4, and 6-4. Courier thus advances to the semifinals quarterfinals, where he'll meet defending champion Sergei Bruguera in a rematch of last year's final. On the women's side, quarterfinal winners today were Steffi Graf, Mary Pierce, Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario, and Conchita Martinez. Graf plays the red-hot Pierce in the semis. And a baseball note, Mitch Williams, the erratic closer of the Houston Astros, was placed on waivers today. Williams, who of course gave up the home run to Toronto's Joe Carter that ended last year's World Series, was 1-4 this season, and his ERA was over 7. When we come back, we'll bring you Peter Vessey's visit with the Knicks' Patrick Ewing. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA.
Her inquisitive mind, her desire to learn, her willingness to work, her need to achieve. All the pieces that add up to your need to learn all you can about college funding. So when your child is ready for college, you will be too. Her senior year, Dean's List. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
In Barcelona, 12 men known as USA's Dream Team shared a moment of history. Now, USA Basketball has again assembled its best to vie for world basketball supremacy. They are Dream Team 2. And this summer in Toronto, they will reach for their own piece of history in basketball's most celebrated international event, the World Championship of Basketball. The dream continues.
So at halftime, the Rockets lead the Jazz 53-35. Tomorrow night at 9 Eastern Time, we'll have Game 5 of the Knicks and the Pacers from Madison Square Garden. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Nick hopes, as always, rest with Patrick Ewing. Ewing has been in the public spotlight for about 15 years now, going back to his high school days in Boston and, of course, his collegiate career at Georgetown. But he's rarely opened up and let people inside. Our Peter Vessey spoke with him last Friday.
I think of myself as one of the guys out there in the ditches. I feel I'm out there in the trenches with everybody. When you win in New York, there's no place like that, like New York. And, you know, the fans and everybody there, I mean, you know, they deserve to have a winning team and a winning franchise, and hopefully this year's our year.
As good as they are when they win.
Oh yeah,
that's as bad as they are when they lose.
I've been at, you know, the low point. Now I want to be there at the high point when we win it all.
That's another thing that surprised me, Patrick. Very uncharacteristic of you to announce on April 1st that this team was going to win it all. What possessed you to make such a headline-grabbing statement? That is not you.
You know, I wanted to come out, let my teammates and everybody else know that I feel that way. So even if some of them don't believe it, that they know that I believe it and I believe in them, and I feel that we're going to win it.
I think what happens with Patrick now is that he is so selfish about wanting to win a championship that he is willing to be so selfless in what he's doing for his teammates and what he does out on the court, and how much, you know, how much he may give by not wanting any double standard thrown at him, by being the consummate team leader.
I want what I deserve. I mean, you know, I'm gonna work hard and give it 110%. And, you know, what is mine is mine. What is yours is yours.
When you were in Georgetown and even in high school, you had a committee of people that were around you, surrounded you, shielded you, protected you, all those things. Was that their doing, or was that something you wanted? You wanted the privacy?
Everybody keeps saying that Coach Thompson protect, you know, shielding me from the press and doing this and doing that. But no, that wasn't the case. I remember there was a lot of times he used to tell me, you have to do this interview, you have to do that. I told him, Coach, you know, I just didn't want to do it. It wasn't me. And I just wanted to hang out with my friends and just enjoy college. Just want to be like, you know, one of the regular college student. That was it.
So you let him take the hit for you?
Yeah, he took it. He took it.
Like a man?
He took it like a man. He took it like a man. That's what I love about him.
Patrick was born in Jamaica. When he was 11, his mother Dorothy moved the family to Boston in search of a better life.
She and her husband, Carl, sacrificed for their family and instilled in Patrick values and a work ethic. His mother died before Patrick's junior year at Georgetown.
She was my heart. Myself and me and my mother, we were like this. You know, we were very close, you know, and it pains me. It pained me when she died, you know, because it happened so sudden. It was sad because, you know, now I can, you know, give her a lot of the things that she had to give up, you know, so I could have clothes in my back and food on the table, and I'm not able to do that, you know, so it hurts.
What would you have been most proud of to see you accomplish?
Well, I think she would be definitely proud of me graduating from college, and also be a man, being a man.
Patrick, in your home, what has more prominence, your Olympic medal or your diploma?
I guess my diploma.
Where's it hanging?
Right over the fireplace.
Is it?
Yeah. You know, I worked hard for that. You know, a lot of people didn't think I was going to graduate from school or even go to school. They thought I was going to go hardship or I was going to flunk out or whatever. But I hung in there, and, you know, it was a hard road. But I hung in there and I got my degree.
This happened to have been taped the day before Ewing went 0 for 10 against the Pacers, but it really didn't matter, Pete, because this wasn't about basketball.
No, it wasn't. This is the first time that I think I've actually gotten into Patrick Ewing's head and heart a little bit. Like most everybody else, I've had to watch him from afar these last 9 years, but I've watched him closely, Bob, and what I've observed is his deep regard and his love for John Thompson, his caring for children, and they don't have to be his own, his high regard for his teammates, his coach, and authority, yet everybody's always making a big deal that this guy isn't good copy. Yeah. Well, the beauty about Patrick Ewing is that he's a good person. He's not late for practice. He doesn't blow assignments. He doesn't use preferential treatments. He's never in trouble, Bob. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I don't respect anybody like I respect this guy since Julius Erving played this game.
Boy, that's quite a compliment. And there's an interesting matchup looming, assuming that Houston's going to make it to the final. If the Knicks can get past the Pacers, then it's Ewing against Olajuwon, a rematch for the NBA title of the battle they conducted exactly a decade ago in the spring of 1984. Remember, Ewing's Georgetown team went to 3 final games in the NCAA. The only one they won was against the Houston Cougars and Olajuwon in '84. But still another half left for the Rockets and the Jazz, and we'll send it back to Dick Enberg and Snapper Jones after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
In this non-stop world, you're looking for no-nonsense news and in-depth reporting that gives you the answers you need.
Living in Nagoya, Japan.
That's why more and more people are turning to NBC News, and that's why you should too. NBC News, now more than ever.
A young couple on a wilderness vacation. I get a really bad feeling about these guys. A vacation they may never survive. A world premiere, Love on the Run, NBC Sunday. Oh, no.
Let me in, let me out. That's what transport is all about.
Even before you pick up your new Pontiac Transport, it's already loaded with the options you want, from a power sliding door to the most powerful V6 you can get in a minivan. And now it has a powerful new financing option too, the 30-month Pontiac Smart Drive, just $279 a month with $1,500 down.
Pontiac Transport's ready to ride.
In Normal, Illinois, Gene Goebel is popular with folks who need their car fixed. He does good work. And he doesn't charge an arm and a leg. Because when he needs auto parts, Gene buys a lot of them at AutoZone. You see, the prices are low every day at AutoZone. So a lot of good mechanics like Gene just pass the savings on to their customers. Plus, they can still get the best quality parts. Sure, they know how to do the work right, but they also know how to save money doing it at AutoZone.
Ever wonder how much you could save with a 6 3/4% credit card? Well, watch this. $3,000 times a typical rate like 15.9% equals $477 in interest for a year. But at 6 3/4%, you'd pay only $203. And based on today's prime rate, that's exactly what you'd get from Wachovia. 6 3/4% for 1 year. After that, a very low 10.65%. Either way, a Wachovia Visa or MasterCard can save you a bundle. So if you're looking for this number, 6 3/4%, just call this number, 1-800-716-3000.
Thanks for making News 4 Colorado's most watched television station.
Welcome back. That's Vernon Maxwell with a final word to his teammates. 2 quarters to go for the Houston Rockets, and they can be in the NBA Finals with an 18-point lead, Steve Jones. But we have watched Houston throughout the year, and as outstanding as they have been as Midwest champions, there seems to be always one little period of time where they lag and give the other team an opportunity.
That is what Jerry Sloan is hoping, that somehow they will lose some of that aggressiveness at the defensive end, some of their intensity. They have done everything textbook perfect, therefore the dominating first half. But the NBA is a tale of 48 minutes, and we have seen big leads turn around. And Jerry Sloan has got to find a way to get his team to begin to score the ball.
Now let's take a look at the Miller Genuine Draft halftime statistics. They reveal once again the Jazz now for 7 consecutive quarters shooting under 40%. Look at Malone and Hornacek are 12 for 20. The rest of the team making only 2 shots. So someone has to step up and contribute to the Jazz offensive cause. 3-point field goals as expected. The Jazz don't shoot a lot of threes, and they aren't that successful, and it's Houston's game. They shot more and made more than anyone in the league, and of course are led by Vernon Maxwell. Rudy Tomjanovich is with Hannah.
Coach, I guess it's fairly cut and dry what you tell a team when they're behind what they need to do in the second half. What do you tell them when they're 18 points ahead?
Well, we've got to keep our aggressiveness, and we've learned by the lesson of that Phoenix game that we can't get passive, and we got to build our game off of our defense.
You're referring to the leading by 20 points in the fourth quarter of the Phoenix game and blowing that lead. Given that experience, are you really worried about any emotional letdown by your team in the second half?
Well, no. I think we've learned our lesson, and I expect our guys to come out very aggressive.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
And, of course, it helps to be at home. 53-35. We're ready for the second half at the Summit in Houston.
They say money will buy more in the new millennia. They say luxury will endure in the new millennia. They even say a luxury car that competes with Lexus and Mercedes can be priced from $26,000 when you're not asked to pay for a luxury division and all that overhead. The new $26,000 Millennia from Mazda.
Athlete's foot. It's a predator made up of many types of fungus that eat your feet alive. You can't just cure some of them. You need a weapon to kill all of them. Lotramin AF, full prescription strength medicine, the brand doctors recommend most. Lotramin AF is so powerful, it doesn't just kill some causes, it kills them all. Now in spray and powder, new forms, same killer results. Lotramin AF, the killer cure.
Face off against Mullins. He takes it up the boards. Oh, penalty against Johnson.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade with real juice for the taste you'll crave.
Oh, hooking riser to the penalty box. Roughing. Draping. Boy, the penalty box is a popular place today.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade, raspberry, cranberry, and original.
There's nobody left to foul.
Now, a 50-year-old secret revealed when 2 D-Day heroes are reunited for the first time since 1944. Now, at a special time, Wednesday.
Think one person can't make a difference in the war against violence? Think again. She's doing it, and perhaps you could too. Find out how. Get close, get answers on NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
Welcome back. The Summit in Houston. Here are the leading scorers. Malone and Hornacek. The total charge for the Jazz. Spencer with 3 and 2 with 2. That's it for Utah. While Robert Horry, a very pleasant scoring surprise for Houston in this game 5 with 17. Maxwell 12. Olajuwon more of an assist man dishing off the ball with a double and triple team him. And Utah has had basically good first halves in the playoffs, but not in the last couple of games.
This has been difficult for them. You know, in the last 2 ball games, 31 and 35 points. John Stockton, who was the hero in that near comeback loss in Salt Lake City, will have to lead the charge along with Hornacek, Karl Malone in this second half.
Anna has a report.
Well, this was the talk in the Utah Jazz locker room at halftime. The coaches feel they came out soft on offense and defense. Offensively, they're going to look to force the ball inside more, and defensively, they're going to look to be much more aggressive, but they are encouraged, they say, by the Rockets' history of letting teams back into ball games. Dick?
Robert Horry takes the first shot of the second half, and here comes Stockton. Same teams that started, Stockton, Benoit, Spencer, Hornacek, and the mailman for Utah. Horry, Olajuwon, Smith, Thorpe, and Mad Max for Houston. Stockton. Yeah, they needed that, and obviously Sloan said, hey, John, that Stockton mailman combination, that partnership's got to come alive, and you're part of it.
And John Stockton passed up 2 shots and trying to get some other people involved, but let's see if they can get it done at the defensive end. When they're on this side of the floor, they like to run pick and roll, and they give Horry a 3.
Just what Utah didn't need and what Houston cheers. Another 3 for the Rockets.
The problem for the Jazz is those threes right now are uncontested. Those guys are parked with long looks. Their confidence is high. Karl Malone can't finish.
No foul on Olajuwon. And now the foul as Benoit drives.
The Rockets have had great patience and ball movement. Horry just sitting there. That is one of his favorite spots. And Rudy, he can't believe that he thought about trading that guy.
He said, I wanted him to be aggressive. He wouldn't take the shots early in the year. Then when he came back, he was convinced that's what the coach wanted him to do. And how he has delivered. 20 points tonight for Robert Horry. 2 on 3-pointers. 2 3-pointers made for Horry.
They got to see Benoit become a road warrior. He hasn't been able to do it. Another offensive rebound by Felton Spencer.
A runner by Hornacek, and Spencer able to bat home the rebound. His 5th point.
One of the ways you can get back in a game is to try to really apply pressure on the ball and force your opponent further out on the floor. The Rockets are a deep shooting team anyway, but if you can force them to shoot deeper, that percentage is eventually going to come down.
Maxwell, way off the mark. What a rebound by Horry. He timed that flying midair between 3 Jazz to pick it off, his 4th. Rebound Malone off the Horry miss.
And what got them in trouble against the Phoenix Suns was staying totally perimeter. And then they became just dependent on Olajuwon down the stretch. Karl Malone
gets the foul from Olajuwon, his 2nd.
Rocket foul, 34.
You use the word bat, well, you'll find out that Felton Spencer has a big bat in that right arm, and he just slammed it against the glass. And the Utah Jazz beginning to at least get some hope. Olajuwon doesn't get this one, picks up the personal foul.
Mailman now with 16. The lead is 16 for Houston.
Sloan's hope is to have this down to single digits as they start the 4th quarter of play. They're at least off to a start in which they're ahead in the quarter, which they haven't been tonight.
It started with an 8-0 burst by Houston. And the Rockets built a lead as big as 12 late in the first half. Olajuwon. Rebound Spencer.
Spencer acting like that possessed man right now. He's getting everything inside that comes off the window. Karl Malone trying to make it happen.
Stockton had that low pass go off his ankle, and then Karl Malone picks up his 3rd foul.
Third personal foul against Karl Malone. They cannot stand another one rung up against him.
Inside to Olajuwon. Knocked away by the Jazz. Olajuwon.
The reason for it, Olajuwon felt that he was smothered and mugged in that possession, had something to say, had a little bit too much to say, and Jeff Hornacek, who had missed the only technical foul in the first half on an illegal defense, will shoot this one.
And for Utah fans, that could be, looking hopefully for them, the unraveling of the Houston team. Emotionally, they're strung high.
Olajuwon appealing to everybody, and eventually it says too much to Jake O'Donnell, and Jake O'Donnell, you guys are playing too good.
I don't need to hear it. That's a 2 for Maxwell, and hits it. 58-42. Under 9 to go in the third. 14 points for Maxwell. That was his first non-3. His first point since the first quarter.
Trying to get something going to the rim, and that was a good give and go, but they just couldn't finish with Hornacek.
Thorpe denied by Benoit.
Thorpe is still down at the other end as we stay with this, and Karl Malone wide open.
Rebound Spencer. It's 5 against 4 here, and Olajuwon able to make the steal. And a 20-second timeout now for Houston to attend to Otis Thorpe.
Things that they're not comfortable doing, and Utah hasn't been able to do it yet, but at least they're trying to be more aggressive defensively.
Way short is Olajuwon. Look at him hustle for his own rebound. And scores. And is fouled.
Whatever that glimmer of daylight was, he is trying to snatch it away from the Utah Jazz. They all come to him on this. It looks like they're going to get the ball. He sneaks in, gets it, and then gets the foul.
Spencer second. Olajuwon for the three-point play as Kenny Smith leads the cheerleading. Three-point play for Olajuwon. He has 13 in the game. Back to a 19-point holds for the Rockets. Puritan is in for Otis Thorpe, battling in the post against Malone.
Now they got to get him the ball and let him go to work inside. They get a illegal defense.
That'll be a technical foul against the Rockets, their third such call.
The reason that they get it, Olajuwon, he's trying to make sure that he can get back in and make a block on anything that Karl Malone does. He wants to challenge, and they bring him out high with Felton Spencer, but he's sliding back in on the weak side.
Hornacek with a technical. Benoit's out and Corbin in now for Utah. 61-43. Tomjanovich has done a sterling job as the coach of the Rockets. He's a great player here, third leading scorer all time in Rockets history. Hornacek, quick trigger, and it's down the bottom of the well for his 17th point. That becomes a three-point play for Hornacek. Olajuwon, no lull there. 15 for the Dream.
See, they're getting off Ty Corbin and almost getting in the passing lane, making it real difficult for Karl Malone to get the ball. They get a foul against Earl Puritan,
his second.
The beauty for the Houston Rockets is they have not had to really rely on Olajuwon in this ball game. He's just picking up the loose change right now, and it has been a balanced attack that's continued to push the league. And Rudy knows if everything goes, I can always come back to the main man.
Well, the Dream's comments after Game 4 said, hey, only scored 16, by far your playoff low. He said, he won. He won. Isn't that what it's about? Thorpe is back in. Puritan out. Otis Thorpe, as Hannah reported, was bruised and painful for a moment. Ready to go back to work.
When you get hit by a 300-pound Mack truck, I guess you should have something knocked out of you.
Mailman Cash is his 2 free throws. 63-47. Under 7 to go in the third quarter. If you're just joining us, it's been the Rockets all the way. As they're one win from going to the NBA Finals. And this is the man who has carried them through the season. To Maxwell for 3. Well, the three-point shooting has certainly cooled considerably since that red-hot first period. Trying to get the ball to Malone on a lob. Blocked by Olajuwon, his 4th of the game. Olajuwon, spin move to Thorpe, scores, foul. But did you see Olajuwon, 7 feet, 255 pounds? He moves with the grace and the speed of a ballet dancer. Well, it only puts a stamp on MVP. Malone's got the ball where he wants it, but Olajuwon quickly from the top of the key drops down to knock it away, and then Olajuwon spinning. I don't want the shot. And the Rockets fans led by the Houston bench back to an 18-point lead.
Tonight, Penny Marshall and Crosby, Stills, and Nash on The Tonight Show.
Walk outside with that on in San Antonio, now you'll burn up. Super George, tell us about that finger roll from the free throw line.
You know, that was my patented. That was my patented shot. One thing I could do was finger roll. Oh yeah, I can do that.
It seems the more time goes by, the fancier trucks get.
Just a bunch of chrome and snazzy stripes. What the? Fusion? No.
So Mazda went and asked folks what a truck should be.
I need a real
and
truck.
learned one very important lesson.
You don't run through mud in ballet slippers.
Introducing the bigger, meaner, all new Mazda truck. The only import with a 4-liter V6 and 1 monster warranty.
Better told my dinosaur.
The new Mazda truck.
I like my dinosaur. It's a good dinosaur.
Mazda. It just feels right.
This is Dave. Dave is trying to have an extreme summer. But Dave doesn't have to do all that. All Dave has to do is this. Extreme Nachos, new from Taco Bell. With red chips to dip in our dish. Beans, tomato, sour cream with guacamole and wild sauce. So, for an extreme summer, dip like this. Don't dip like this. Cross the border, man.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. By Braun Flex Control, the first electric shaver with a pivoting head that adjusts to every contour of your face. And by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right.
Playing YMCA here at the Summit, Dikembe Mutombo's favorite song. Hakeem Olajuwon, look at the numbers. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Yeah, how do you do in chemistry?
Well, we know that centers are not supposed to be able to dance and dish like this, and that is what makes him so special. The ability not only to handle the basketball, to see other people, but mobility that gets him away from the defense. Thorpe with a three-point play.
66-47, Otis Thorpe converting the 3 off Olajuwon's assist. Olajuwon also with 4 steals.
You see, Olajuwon is up high, but Karl Malone has to try to figure out where he is so he can get a chance to look at the hoop.
Malone with a fadeaway. Now has 21 to lead the Jazz. And lead all scorers for that matter.
You would have to think that Jerry Sloan is going to have to ride him the rest of the way. He, along with Hornacek, are the only guys that are really getting it done at the offensive end.
Hornacek reaching in. Has the foul. His first.
Utah foul, number 14, Jeff Hornacek, first personal.
Look at the eyes of Karl Malone. Where is the dream? Oh, you're not coming. I'll do a little business on my own before you decide to change the jump shot.
Both like that same spot with that fadeaway, more of a fadeaway from Malone. a straight square-up jumper for Olajuwon, who hits the free throw, his 16th point. Olajuwon's parents are going to be here June 8th from Nigeria. That happens to be the same date as the first game of the NBA Finals, and one of his brothers, 3-4 of them here in Houston with Hakeem. There's Najee. Alone. Corbin knocked it off Maxwell's leg. Out of bounds to Utah. That's greed. They want everything. Not a bad attitude if you're whipping a team up for an NBA Finals appearance. Stockton misses everything. A rough game for John Stockton.
When your offense is sagging, it's very difficult for your defense to be energized because it's not producing anything cheap for you. And we'll see if the Jazz can really step up and try to get it done. Olajuwon.
It's a little out of his range, and Malone collects the rebound. Stockton saying, "Get the ball to me," and Hornacek says, "You go on under." Malone with Thorpe. Rebound Ori.
Did a nice job of squeezing in between the defense, but couldn't finish.
And this is a team that will get another man services for the finals if they get that far. Carl Herrera, who's been out with a dislocated shoulder. Three for Vernon Maxwell. 71-49. That equals their biggest lead of the game.
They have said the Rockets are a team that will get you back in the game, but it's not going to happen today because they are making their threes, and Rudy Tomjanovich knows he's on his way to the final.
He's got the signal down, doesn't he?
Hello from Plank Road, where our man Paul has been getting a lot of calls and letters asking, is ice beer really beer from Iceland? Good guess, but wrong. Ice House is ice beer. Ice brewed so there's never any watered down taste, just more of what you want in a beer. Iceland has a lot of wonderful things to offer.
I wish for world peace. Yeah?
But ice beer is not one of them. Ice House, from America. Thanks, and enjoy.
For LA cop Jack Traven.
Bomber wants $3 million or he blows the emergency brakes. Anything else that'll keep this elevator from falling?
The basement. The game began with the ultimate test.
There's a bomb on a bus. What do you do?
Now, he's the only solution.
Where's Jack? Where do you think? Everybody hold on!
Keanu Reeves.
You have a hair trigger aimed at your head. What do you do?
Speed. Rated R. Special sneak preview Friday and Saturday.
Time passes, things improve. In the new millennia, you'll find a luxury sedan with a suspension more sophisticated than BMW's. Body panels that fit 20% tighter than the new Mercedes C-Class and even straighter than a Lexus ES300. All at a price starting at $26,000. Time passes, things improve. The new millennia from Mazda.
The day before our big trip, Frank announced we had to stay at hotel chains. Are you serious, Frank?
Absolutely not, Frank.
No way, Frank. We expected boring cookie-cutter hotels courtesy of Frank's new budget. But ITT Sheridan was no ordinary hotel chain. But we decided not to tell Frank that.
It's grueling, Frank.
It's a tough job, Frank, but somebody's got to do it.
ITT Sheridan. Our world revolves around you.
This weekend, the French Open heats up on NBC. Friday, the men's semifinals. Saturday, the ladies' final. And Sunday, the men's final. The French Open presented by Fresca. This weekend.
It's not been easy to be a Houston fan. They say Clutch City now, but they were crying Choke City earlier in the playoffs when they lost the first 2 home games to Phoenix. That referred to the Oilers and that demise in Buffalo, blowing a 32-point lead. And Houston wondered if they could ever win. Well, they're winning now, and the Rockets have made this commercial that started playing over the Memorial Day weekend for their fans.
Just 4 seconds left on the clock. Rockets trailing by 1. Vernon Maxwell takes it left to right over the circle. Goes down to the dream underneath. Elijah has it. Shake and bake right. Goes up for the shot. No good.
That's it! I just can't take it anymore!
The Houston Rockets would like to thank you for your support this season.
But wait, he was fouled!
Because everyone knows it's not easy being a sports fan in Houston.
One more chance, folks. Do you believe in miracles?
Well, they're at least able to laugh at themselves. Well, they're smiling tonight with a 71-49 lead.
The owner of the team, Les Alexander, couldn't have come in at a better time.
He's just got his legs crossed and enjoying this one.
A rookie owner with a chance to get to the finals in his first year of ownership.
Long pass to Kenny Smith. Hornacek fouls, and Smith will go to the line. Second foul on Hornacek. Well, look at Utah coach Jerry Sloan has put in John Crotty, rarely used backcourt man, giving John Stockton a rest. Stockton just unable to deliver his usual high-level all-pro performance. 2 points after having a brilliant game 4.
Sloan is looking for anybody other than Hornacek and Malone to try to energize this team. They get a fortunate break there when Kenny Smith misses both of the free throws. But this is a team that has a tough time coming from behind. And we'll find out whether they can get some other people to begin scoring the ball. Karl Malone.
Crotty. And the former Virginia star just don't fall for him. And Olajuwon collects his 5th rebound. Maxwell wants a 3. Rebound Spencer.
If you're an explosive team, there's always a chance that you can strike quickly, but the Utah Jazz are grinded out. They like to execute. They like to set up every possession. Karl Malone draws a foul against Otis Thorpe. But they need this clock to... Now, you want to talk about a clock being stopped. They need this one to stop right now. Go home.
Oh, no, rewind. They need to rewind it. We're only kidding. Let's start all over again. That was part of the bizarre ending of Game 4. John, by the way, I want to make a comment about John Houston Stockton III is the man sitting on the bench, and John Houston Stockton IV, age 6, after Game 4 was playing at the Delta Center, one of those plastic basketball setups, and tried to slam dunk and said, I'm going to be Benoit, and broke his arm. So after the Game 4, a tough 2-point loss, and had to take his son to the hospital with a broken arm. Middle name Houston for 4 generations. 71-51. Spencer out, Chambers in for Utah.
See, the defense can't get to the ball, and they're allowed to move the ball and move people too easily. Horry with the follow.
Another offensive board. Now Thorpe with another. Corbin. Steal. And the foul from behind.
That's the kind of effort Jerry Sloan was talking about, and Ty Corbett had a cape on that time because he went up in the air to make this play and then beat everyone to the basketball. Kenny Smith trying to pull him off of it.
Steals, and usually Utah, that's one area where they rarely give up the ball, and they do more than their share. Yet in this game, Houston 9 steals. Utah, that was only their 2nd of the game. Corbin's 3rd point.
For the Rockets, number 10.
And Cassell returns for Houston. And Kenny Smith the rest. Smith himself not a happy Rocket mid-season. Felt he wasn't being played enough. It's been a season which has been considerable turmoil for Rudy Tomjanovich, and yet they finished with a record 58 wins, a franchise record.
They can't get to it.
8 on the clock. Cassell somehow gets it to Thorpe. From the start, not only were the shots dropping, but every point where Utah had a hope of a possible turnover, the ball pops right into a Rocket hand. Corbin for 3. Hornacek. Olajuwon. Approaching the 2-minute mark in the third quarter. And a foul on Crotty.
Utah foul number 25, John Crotty.
Sam Cassell likes to try to take the ball on the move, and right here he's double teamed, and the ball is nearly knocked out of his hand, but had enough of it to keep going in the direction of Otis Thorpe, which turned out to be 2 more points for the Houston Rockets.
Cassell has been a very reliable free throw shooter. His first miss tonight. No turnovers, 5 assists for this rookie. Played with Heisman winner Charlie Ward at Florida State in their backcourt. As well as Bob Sewell. And Kennedy's Seminoles.
2 minutes in the quarter. 2 minutes.
Oh, what a block by Olajuwon coming from the blind side. His 6th. And it's out of bounds to Utah.
The problem is Karl Malone can't find Olajuwon. You'll see him flash out of the corner right there, and Karl Malone, it's too late to get that shot. He works real hard to get in against Otis Thorpe, but the ultimate defense is Olajuwon, and he's been all of that this evening.
That's his 301st career playoff block as Crotty misses, and Chambers over the back, and that'll be a foul on him. So 301 blocks in the playoffs for Olajuwon. He's 2 now away from the number 2 all-time, the Chief, Robert Parrish. It's just so incredible when you have in one form a player best in the league, and he can almost make that on the offensive end, and he's voted most valuable defensive player as well.
And the Utah Jazz have seen some great defensive players in their march to the Western Conference Finals. David Robinson, a defensive player of the year in his own right. Dikembe Mutombo, shot blocker and leader in the NBA. And now Olajuwon. But this is a package that has been too much for Jerry Sloan's team to deal with.
Malone to Corbin. And Olajuwon forced him to misdirect that one. Maxwell to Thorpe. They're getting ready for the final. 77-53. 1:17 left in the third.
So if you say you're sending a message to whoever your Eastern Conference opponent may be, this is the tape that you want them to look at.
Has it slapped away by Cassell. Chambers, Malone, knocked away by Thorpe. Corbin in a crowd. 3 on the clock. Hornacek to Chambers. It won't go. Corbin gets it back. It won't go. Another block by Olajuwon, his 7th. Oh my, what a performance. Olajuwon. Any questions? For Utah, Karl Malone has 25. That ended an 8-0 run for Houston.
They are on their feet in appreciation of the perfect 3 quarters of play by the Houston Rockets. Cassell trying to really put the hammer in.
The end of 3. The Rockets by 24 points. Led by the Dream. Hakeem Olajuwon will be back after a word from your local station.
Even with dual airbags, power windows, air conditioning, cruise control, and a powerful 6-cylinder engine, the Mazda 626 still costs less than a 4-cylinder Camry LE. And you can take that to the bank.
Oh, hi. You know, this week, all Goodyear Eagles for performance cars and all Goodyear Wranglers for light trucks are on sale. Heck, I think this says it all. On sale Wranglers, Eagles, Goodyear, all on.
Braun Flex Control, the first electric shaver with a pivoting head. It automatically adjusts to every contour of your face. Flex Control from Braun. Braun, the last word in shavers.
Free will. Here's Weber in the open court going all the way. Oh, brother. What a move by Weber. And the Sixers take over on the turnover. Julius. Oh. 82-80. Tries a long, wild hook shot. Oh.
And here come the bricks on the break. Horace Credit over to Raheem Olajuwon, who throws up a prayer.
I love this game.
NBC News, now more than ever.
Dear Midas, as I brake to avoid hitting the nice lady in front of me, I heard an awful clunking noise. I was truly frightened. I called Midas and was told,
You can bring it right down.
Jack inspected my brakes, explained the problem,
It's the brake pads.
and gave me my options. I also found the warranty on brake pads a comforting bonus. Now my brakes work like a charm. Thank you, Catherine Catania.
The new Dodge Ram has the most standard 4x4 horsepower of any full-size pickup on the market. Dodge Ram also offers the safety of an airbag and is the first full-size pickup with available anti-lock brakes on all 4 wheels. Plus, it has all the ruggedness you want without compromising your ride. Meet one of the smartest trucks ever to travel on all 4s. The new Dodge Ram 4x4. The rules have changed. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
The Colorado State Games, June 17th through 19th.
Telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Welcome back for the fourth quarter. Throughout these playoffs in the West, we have had guest cameramen. One of the highlights of our telecast, and who might it be? Warren Moon, ex-Houston Oiler, going to do his work for the Minnesota Vikings. He's still number one here in this city in many ways. Warren Moon, stay in focus, will you? All right, the fourth quarter, and laser focus for these Houston Rockets. There's the biggest ever overcome, and that was against Houston by Phoenix, 20 points. And the Rockets lead by 24 entering the fourth tonight. Malone is out, having taking a breather, so is Elijah.
If they're going to do it, then they're going to at least get it started without Karl Malone out on the floor, and that's not a good sign. And he has been the only guy that's been able to generate some offense. Stockton starts with a foul against the Houston Rockets. Sam Cassell not cured him with a foul, his second. Jay Humphreys has been bothered by a bad knee. Porteous that it's unlikely he'll be able to return. Roddy has been in as the backup to Stockton. Brian Russell to Chambers. Way off. Spencer to Russell. The one thing you have to give Spencer credit for, and that has been keeping the ball alive. He is trying to give his team some second chances. Russell finally cashed one.
His first points set up by the hustle offensive rebounding of Spencer. And a travel against Maxwell as Chambers gave him a little bump.
The ball got stuck on Maxwell's hip as he was trying to get away from the defense. The ball will come up right there, and that's where he got the travel.
79-57. Now this is a game you cannot shooting quickly, creating a lot of fouls where you stop the clock and allow the other team to score. Monroe, Carl Malone, the mailman, won wonders.
Well, when you have two guys that have 15 of the team's 20 field goals, Hornacek and Malone, you know you're having a real tough day, and the other team is getting second opportunity. Everybody is in, making it happen. That was Spencer picks up his fourth person.
That will send Otis Thorpe to the line as Mario Ellie jumps in for the Rockets, replacing Robert Horry. And a standing ovation from the fans over in that corner for Horry. Well earned. 10th point for Thorpe. Horry leaves with 20. 12 rebounds for Otis Thorpe. How he compliments Elijah. It's a good team.
It's a team that doesn't have a lot of competition within to be the superstar. They all recognize that Olajuwon is that, and they're all willing, due to the great sales job that Rudy Tomjanovich has given them, to accept the role, and they have done it. And now they're a team not only with the purpose but a game plan that forces opponents to change what they do against them.
Unless there's someone who can play Olajuwon man for man. Russell, big rebound, and the foul. And with it, a timeout with 9:56 left in the fourth quarter.
The Pacers and Knicks go prime time. Game 5 tomorrow night on NBC.
The winds of change are blowing away old ideas and bringing the all-new Ford Windstar. A totally new minivan. Windstar's innovative design moved the wheels out, stretching the wheelbase, creating the most passenger and cargo room of all leading minivans. And with a quieter interior, Windstar takes the minivan in a whole new direction. The all-new front-wheel drive Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today.
Yeah, didn't you see Chris dunk on Charles Barkley? Nice. You didn't see that? I went something like this. Put the cape on, though, because I was like Superman. Oh, yeah, you were. Let me put that on. Barkley, see. Okay, where? Catch it like this, around the back. Spread yourself. Barkley coming. So he's Barkley trying to block it. Oh, wait, he's too high. He's too high. And then what did Barkley say? He said, I don't believe in role models, but you mine. Yeah. Oh.
East of the Texas Hill Country in Austin, there's a place that just won't let you go home hungry. It's called Threadgill's. And here you might find yourself behind a great big chicken fried steak, a mountain of red beans and rice, or even a microphone. So if you go, bring your appetite for a good time and your Visa card. Because Threadgill's might let you take the stage, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Miller Lite presents Full Contact Golf. Yes, this summer it's not just a sport, it's a free t-shirt. The Full Contact Golf t-shirt. Just look for specially marked packages of Miller Lite at your favorite store. Find this can and win instantly. There are over 500,000 t-shirts to be won.
Cool. Hey, cool shirt. Hey, thanks.
The Full Contact Golf t-shirt coming into full contact with you. Only from Miller Lite.
Hey, great shirt. Great beer.
Can your beer do this?
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Tonight's Miller Genuine Draft Genuine Moment takes us back Game 5, 1986, Western Conference Finals, Lakers and Rockets. Ralph Sampson hits his twisting, desperate jumper at the buzzer, giving the Rockets a 114-112 victory, a 4-1 series win that sent Houston to their second NBA Finals in the 1980s. Hakeem Olajuwon, the only member of that team still on the roster for the Rockets. Olajuwon, the first player picked in 1984. There's his scoring during the course of this game. Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund benefits $1,000 for that. Another genuine draft moment. Ball knocked away by Maxwell. Knocked out, and you got it right. Steve Gabby agrees with you. Olajuwon comes in. What a draft that was, 84. Olajuwon, the first player pick. Michael Jordan was third. Barkley fifth. Thorpe was ninth. Jay Humphries 13th. John Stockton 16th. Michael Cage walks out on the. He was 14. What a group of players came out of the collegiate ranks that year. Olajuwon proving to be worthy of that #1 pick, and of course Jordan. He said, how could he not be number 1?
Well, you know, when you have a great center, every team is going to try to get that guy first. And the Houston Rockets, they had Ralph Sampson, but they felt that Sampson was not going to be able to command the middle the way Olajuwon has, and that proved to be very prophetic. Ralph, of course, ended up shortening his career due to injury.
Well, he scored. The scoreboard did not give him credit for it, however. It's 81-61. With 3 on the clock to sell. Chambers, 4 times an All-Star with a rebound. Stockton with a quick outside the arc and unable to hit. Olajuwon rebounds. He has 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 blocks, 5 assists, 4 steals. Ball kicked by the whistle on the bounds. And a new 24.
Well, the guys with the ability to score the ball are coming back in the ball game for Jerry Sloan. They've been denied by Olajuwon in trying to get inside, but they got 15 of the 22 field goals. So Hornacek, Malone back in for this last run.
7 field goals by the entire Utah roster after Malone and Hornacek. That's a 2 for Ellie.
See where Felton Spencer is now. Malone knows that Olajuwon is going to be coming very quickly. Good offensive rebound by Felton Spencer, doing his job by following the ball.
Stockton, this is again Thorpe for the rebound. Spencer with a foul. Spencer had picked up his 14th rebound in the earlier sequence and now has his 5th foul. He has played hard in this series. And one thing positive about these playoffs, a lot of things, but one of those for Jerry Sloan is they found a man, Felton Spencer, who can be a power on the defensive end rebounding side.
He has done a very, very credible job, and no one would have thought Felton Spencer could have helped him this much when he was a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Maxwell took an elbow on the back of his head and made the shot anyway. 19 points for him. Less than 8 minutes from the NBA Finals are the Houston Rockets. John Stockton, 8 points for him.
They've got 3 primary scorers out there, and those guys are going to have to, suddenly do something superhuman in order to make a difference in Stockton, Malone, and Hornacek, because they have not been able to stop the Houston Rockets at this end of the floor.
3 for Maxwell. Stockton buries it into the offensive end. 7:22 left. 20-point deficit. Legal defense. Olajuwon, and that'll be a technical foul. That's the 3rd technical shot by Utah.
Well, they say it's Maxwell this time, so he snuck in trying to give some help, but again, they're trying to get every advantage and trying to make sure that they deny anything inside.
For Hornacek, if Utah falls tonight, it'll be the 3rd time for him in 5 seasons that his team has gotten to the Western Finals, but been defeated. The Lakers and Portland denied Phoenix when he was a Sun, 89 and 90. Malone. This incredible partnership, Stockton and Malone. Are we seeing it for the last time? Stockton now with 10 points. And the Jazz finally get it under 20, the deficit. 17 now. And a travel call against Cassell. And a timeout. 6:53 remaining for the Jazz to catch up.
Face off against Mullins. He takes it up the boards. Oh, penalty against Johnson.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade with real juice for the taste you'll crave.
Oh, hooking riser to the penalty box. Roughing. Tracing. Boy, the penalty box is a popular place tonight.
New Ocean Spray Lemonade, raspberry, cranberry, and original.
There's nobody left to foul.
After years on the road, some small cars find themselves in a tight spot. But of all the small cars built in the past 12 years, more Escorts are still on the road than any other. And when you realize Ford Escort is a better small car value than its leading competition and offers 4 models for the same low price, it's easy to see how the competition stacks up. Ford Escort.
You've got the winning color!
Make your engine last longer. Change your oil every 3,000 miles and use the newest Pennzoil. Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil works like liquid ball bearings, clings in, on, around, and between moving parts to reduce heat, friction, and wear.
Pennzoil just keeps getting better and better.
Makes me feel even better about using it in my car.
Pennzoil says it works like liquid ball bearings, and if they say it, I'll believe it.
You got the winning color!
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Molson Ice from Canada, the land where ice was born. By Pennzoil, the motor oil you can rely on for performance, protection, and quality. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Director John Gonzalez, Data Station Raj Schneiderman, welcome back to Houston. And a reminder, later tonight, join Jay Leno and his guest Penny Marshall and Dennis Hopper, plus the music of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. That's all tonight on The Tonight Show. Then Andy McDowell joins Conan on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, followed by Later with Greg Kinnear. All tonight on NBC after your local news. And tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, Game 5. Oh, what a critical game, as home court is held true for Indiana and New York. Who will take the lead? Join us 9 Eastern, 6 o'clock in the West. Stockton and the Jazz down by 17 with 6:45 left in the fourth quarter. It's been Malone and Hornacek leading, and now Stockton hits 3 in a row, and that was a 3. 13 for him, so it's 83-69. This is the closest that Utah has been in the second half.
Stops are critical for them. Felton Spencer almost got around to making save and a steal, but it's knocked out of bounds. John Stockton, who's been trying to knock down a 3 the entire evening, finally gets one to fall. Stockton 9 in the quarter.
You don't want to ignore him. We saw he almost pulled Utah to victory single-handedly in Game 4 in the fourth quarter. Maxwell, way short. So the three-point shot's not falling now for the Rockets. And it's Stockton with plenty of time. Another 3 is short, but Malone gets it back, and he's fouled. It appeared to be Olajuwon. Now here's where the Rockets can't lose their composure.
That ball just fell short. He caught everybody by surprise, and Olajuwon, who thought he got Karl Malone to just shoot that one short, picks up the personal foul. That is his third. 13.
Malone looking for his 26th point. That leads all scorers. 83-70.
And that is his first here in the fourth quarter of play. Jazz on a 9-0 run,
led by John Stockton. And they haven't used a lot of time in carving that lead down to a dozen with more than 6 to go.
Now there's time to go, and when you're within 12 with 6 minutes to go in the ball game, you certainly have a chance, but they got to be able to stop the Houston Rockets. They haven't been able to do it yet.
Hornacek knocked it away and then took the elbow from Olajuwon unintentionally. It's a 3-second violation against Houston, and the call's now going against the Rockets. And with a bloody nose as Hornacek, as he took the arm or forearm of Olajuwon.
While trying to come in and help, he got smacked in the face.
Jerry Sloan is out on the court as they help Hornacek to the bench. Remember, he had to have stitches for a laceration on his chin in the Denver series. And there were the big guys who take a lot of punishment. And Olajuwon has to be attended here emotionally to cool him down. He felt he was fouled.
Rudy is saying, look, stay in the game. It's a 12-point game. We've got to keep you in the game. I don't care what you do, but stay in the game.
Olajuwon has one technical in the first half, so a second, and he takes a shower.
the ball comes out, and what Olajuwon can't understand is why there's no foul. Hornacek is saying, I can't wonder why there's no foul, as this is ripped across the face with Olajuwon's hand.
That's 5 minutes in hockey. So Hornacek cannot return until the bleeding has stopped.
That's not good news unless John Stockton is going to continue to bury shots from the perimeter, because they have struggled to get points elsewhere. Foul. Maxwell.
Holding Crotty, I believe. They provide some cotton stuffing to stop the nasal bleeding of Jeff Hornacek. Non-shooting foul, team fouls. 4 now on the Rockets, only 2 committed by the Jazz in the period. Utah will go to the line from now on. The rookie Russell. And he is fouled. Ellie, his first. And a chance to pull Utah to 2, and that's what we're talking about. Losing your emotional composure, which has been a pattern for the Rockets, and letting the other team score with timeout on foul shooting.
And I think Olajuwon has regained his composure. He's listening to Jake O'Donnell explain what happened at the other end of the floor. Doesn't buy it, but at least they listen.
Russell's third point. He wins all the contests in terms of the NBA's top officials, coaches, players, fans, broadcasters. He's number 1. 83-73. 5.5 minutes to go, and the Jazz on 12 unanswered points have made it interesting. Too interesting in Houston. And the Jazz pick up their defensive intensity. Kenny Smith to Olajuwon. Rebound Malone. Exactly left. 10-point game.
They're trying to set up the pick and roll. Karl Malone wants this side of the floor.
Stockton sees the opening. Rattles out. Russell gets the offensive rebound and a new 24.
Huge rebound by Russell just to keep the Jazz focused on this end of the floor, trying to get to 8.
Malone. He wants it. Won't fall for him either. So Stockton and Malone both with good spot-up shots. Good look at the basket. And they wouldn't fall. Thorpe, meanwhile, has 14 rebounds to lead all players. They'll try to use as much of the 24 in each possession. It's down to 6. Olajuwon has to twist. Can't make it. Thorpe over the back. Has his third foul.
This is part of what happened in the Phoenix game, where they stopped cutting to the hoop. Olajuwon trying to squeeze it in, doesn't get it, and Thorpe comes over the top. So the Utah Jazz and Karl Malone walk the other way. Everyone here in the Summit standing, booing every call from the official as their nerves frayed. And what do we see? 4 points in the fourth quarter of play?
12 straight points for Utah as Malone sets for 2. Malone now 12 for 13 from the line, 28 points. It's a 9-point game as Robert Horry returns. .4 7 seconds remaining. Utah within 8. The report on Hornacek is that it's not a broken nose, just a bloody nose. They can't stop the bleeding, and until they do, he can't return. Of course, he's one of their better shooters from outside, if not their best.
But the Jazz back in the game. Kenny Smith going for 3.
It rattles out. So everything that was falling throughout the first 3 quarters is spinning out now.
Now Sloan is saying patience, and we'll see if they can get some execution and get a big hoop right here to get it to 6.
He's gets his own rebound. Won't go in, and rebound Norrie. That would have been 16 straight points.
Unbelievable that Stockton had two wide open looks. Neither one of them would go in. Probably almost made a steal before they got the timeout.
And a timeout with 3:23 left, and the Jazz within 8.
It could only come from here. A land forever frozen, perfectly pure, and the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed in Canada by North America's oldest brewery to be a few degrees colder, a few degrees bolder, yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. A clear, clean, powerful gel that goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant.
Pizzas for $8.98 plus free Crazy Bread and free Coke Classic. At Little Caesars, it's a party.
Most golfers try to stay out of the rough, but in truck golf,
The rough! Yes!
there's no rough enough.
Excellent!
But don't venture out onto the course without one of these. 1994 Ford Ranger 4x4.
Sweet!
Complete with push-button four-wheel drive, a wide, powerful stance, and a whopping 4-liter V6. Get a Ford Ranger 4x4 and get into the swing of truck golf. But remember, always replace your divots.
This summer, great sports action shines on NBC. The grueling French Open, basketball's climax, the NBA Finals, the championships, Wimbledon, baseball's All-Star Game, and Dream Team 2 in the World Championship of Basketball. For the best in sports, NBC is the summer place.
Well, you saw that Houston Rockets commercial. Tough to be a fan in this city. How do you figure out the Rockets? Scoreless for 4:49 while Utah has run off 14 straight points. And this is part of the frustration. So few championships in the old AFL. George Blanda was the quarterback in the 60s. 74 was the Howes, Daddy Gordy and Mark and Marty for the Houston Aeros of the World Hockey Association. But no NBA title, no Major League Baseball World Series title, no NFL title. Yet they've had good teams. And this is an excellent team now flirting with true disaster, although they lead by 8.
Trying to get Elijah Wan across the lane, and Elijah Wan claps and saying, yes, I'm finally going to get a call against Felton Spencer, who picks up what should be his 6th personal foul. Elijah Wan being held and bodied all the way across. Now they lock up, and you get one more hand underneath.
They called it on John Crotty, however, and
he was about 15 feet from the play.
But did foul him earlier.
Well, they're going to try to get back to their game, which is get the ball into Elijah Wan, make the defense react.
Under 3 minutes to go, and that was Malone made the play for a moment. Elijah Wan with a loose ball. Big basket. That ends a drought of nearly 5 minutes. 22 for Elijah Wan.
You know, when you're trying to make one of those miracle comebacks, everything has to break just right. And they got the ball batted in the air. Looked like they were going to control it and get a cheap point. And it comes back to Elijah Wan. Crowd feels a little bit better with a 10-point advantage.
Only the second field goal for Houston at nearly 10 minutes of this quarter. Into Malone. Gets the basket and he's fouled. And Malone almost made the big play at the other end with the deflection.
Malone goes up and John Stockton just couldn't get there. Elijah Wan gets enough time with that pump fake to get it up and down. Karl Malone comes back with a quick hitting play inside, and Jeff Hornacek has finally got the bleeding to stop where he can't breathe because his nose is really packed.
But can he shoot? And that's what Jerry Sloan wants to find out. Meanwhile, Malone almost perfect from the free throw line. 13 for 14 in the game. So he has to settle for 2. 85-77, an 8-point lead. But Utah gets it back. And it is breaking right for them. 2:30 left. Malone to Stockton, throws it away. Horry. 4-point chance for the Jazz. Maxwell ignores that 24-second clock. Shot with 12 seconds remaining. Dalton Spencer to Stockton. And there are 2 minutes left.
2 minutes in the quarter.
Stockton passed up the layup because of Olajuwon. Oh, that ball is Ori and no foul. And Ori is hurt. He came down very hard. And Stockton in to steal the ball. They hadn't called time, and now they do. They had called time. An outside official had called time. Ori really landed awkwardly. This could be critical not only for tonight, but for the rest of the playoffs for Houston. How badly is he hurt?
Russell driving across the lane, thought he had a good look at it, and that one is just smothered, and then off balance he comes down on his hip.
And while it was a bad fall, he's able to walk off under his own power. Good news for Houston, 1 minute 50 seconds remaining.
A new wind is rising, bringing change. Bringing the all-new Ford Windstar, a totally new minivan. Windstar is the only minivan that combines standard dual airbags, 5-mile-an-hour bumpers, and 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. Plus, it meets all passenger car safety standards. It's safety that takes the minivan in a whole new direction. The all-new front-wheel drive Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today.
If your parents can't afford $30,000 for college, ask your uncle. The Montgomery GI Bill plus the Army College Fund. $30,000 for college. Call your recruiter to find out how to qualify. Looking for a smart way to earn up to $30,000 for college? Call 1-800-USA-ARMY and ask how to qualify for the Montgomery GI Bill plus the Army College Fund. $30,000 for college.
This isn't about basketball, it's about business.
Here's a short course on small business.
So what if you're not the biggest business in the game?
You can't get the ball?
You still succeed because you call the shots.
And take advantage of the big guys when you need to.
Like now with AT&T. Switch and save 20% on business long distance. But it's meant for small businesses, not you big guys.
This can't wait.
Can't believe this guy.
So call now and save 20%. Let AT&T work for you.
Yesterday in Indiana, it was Miller time. Reggie Miller's 31 points led the Pacers to victory as they proved that there's no place like home. Now, with the series tied at 2, the scene shifts back to the Big Apple, where the Knicks are undefeated in the playoffs. It's the critical Game 5 in prime time. The Eastern Finals continue tomorrow night at 9 Eastern on NBC.
The report is that he actually bruised his right hip. However, he is fine. He will be coming back. In fact, he is back in the game, Dick.
Well, Ori didn't look as if we'd see much more of him the way he landed, but with 20 points, by far his best of this series. 11 was his previous high. He saved a big game, plus 9 rebounds for Tom Jonovich.
He's fine now. Remember, clock management was the problem that they had in game 4.
Ori, I guess he's okay. 10 points. The Houston lead, 1:37 to go. 22 for Ori. And that was traded away in midseason to a trade that didn't happen. Russell, way off the mark for a 3, and Olajuwon collects it. Stolen by Hornacek. Stockton over Olajuwon. Maxwell. And the foul. Utah fouling to stop the clock with 1:15 left. Stockton's third. Big night for Robert Ori.
Huge. Robert Ori cuts to the basket, and that is what breaks all of the pressure of the Utah Jazz. Takes it down with 2 hands. A little mild head shake by Ori, who loves to waggle that head after a dunk.
We have 2 of his Alabama teammates playing out here in the West. Latrell Sprewell at Golden State and Hollywood Robinson up at Portland have to be cheering for this young man who has saved his best
What Rudy is telling his team is, remember, we had a 7-point lead, a minute 20 to go. We ended up squandering all of that. Let's not make the same mistakes. John Stockton picks up his 4th personal foul. Owner Les Alexander saying, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Use the clock. Get fouled.
Kenny Smith. It's an 11-point game. 1:07 left. A valiant try again by Utah. They almost won game 2 here. They nearly rallied from 7 down with 1:22 left in game 4, and they were down by 24 in the middle of this quarter. Russell gets the 3. The kid from Cal State Long Beach makes it 89-80.
Hornacek foul. They got to stop the clock. The enemy of the Utah Jazz is the clock at this point, and they will come back with Kenny Smith, who is a plus 80% career free thrower on the line. He just made 2.
8 points for Smith. The mark of this Houston breadth of talent is that in different games, Rudy Tomjanovich has had a different player step up big. Smith has had a couple big games, and it was Maxwell getting them off to the right start tonight. And Horry then comes in with his best game. And of course, Olajuwon is always there. Off the leg of Stockton. And we're in the final minute. Maxwell.
They're trying to foul, but the Rockets don't want to be fouled right now. They don't care if the whistle blows. They would rather have the clock roll out, have a violation, use it 24. Kenny Smith now trying to make a score.
24-second violation, but you're right. There's a time when the 24 is a good sign. So you look ahead to the finals if Houston goes, and apparently they will with 31 seconds left. They beat the Knicks home and home and split with the Indiana Pacers. So Olajuwon Ewing, at least during the regular season, the dream and his teammates prevailed. And a timeout, 31 and change remain.
They love me. They love me not. They love me. They love me not. They love me. They hate my guts.
Want to get Dad something he'll really love? Check out Radio Shack's 10 Most Wanted Father's Day gifts. Radio Shack's Gift Express service makes it easy. We'll help you pick out the perfect gift, put it in a gift box with a personal card, and even send it by Federal Express delivery service. Radio Shack's Gift Express. You've got questions, we've got answers.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it the number of ways it finds to protect you and your passengers? Its confident feel on the road? Or the fact that we improved it over 50 ways to make it the best Taurus ever? Whatever the reasons, you've made Ford Taurus the best-selling car in America. Again.
This is where it happened. I was lying in a ditch, face down, trying to breathe. I was lucky. Most people who get thrown from their cars have injuries so serious that their lives are never the same. A lot of them die, and like me, most of them weren't wearing a seatbelt. It's the simplest thing. Please buckle up every time. It can save your life.
Welcome back. The MVP numbers for Hakeem Olajuwon. We go back to 1984, the only time that Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing met in college. Houston against Georgetown. Ewing would score 10, Olajuwon 15, and John Thompson's Georgetown team would win the national championship. Olajuwon then would leave the University of Houston and was the #1 draft pick that year. Now I say all that knowing the Indiana Pacers. I say, what are you talking about? You're talking Edberg like it's all set. It's 2 games each, and tomorrow night, Larry Brown's Pacers will take on Pat Riley's Knicks at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and a best-of-3 series for the Eastern representative to meet Rudy Tomjanovich's Houston Rockets, who are going to have plenty of rest time. And remember, Houston, with the best regular season record, regardless, will have home court advantage. The finals will shooting John Stockton. Rebound and a foul. Russell fouls Ellie, who rebounded with 26 seconds remaining. Karl Malone, John Stockton, a tremendous all-pro, all-NBA tandem of the Utah Jazz. And there is a question mark over the continuing relationship. Malone said if they won a championship, he would retire. That's not going to happen. But he also needs some things to be worked out with Utah management. As he told us, he's going to throw away all of the beepers and all the phones. It's going to be tough to find him. He'll be hidden out somewhere in Alaska fishing for the summer. I have a sense, however, there's a way to work things out. Ellie makes it 92-80. Malone for three. Rebound Thorpe ahead to Smith. Kenny Smith with a punctuation mark. The frosting slam, 94-80.
Deep, the late three-point field goal by Hornacek, but the Jazz have conceded defeat. It is the Rockets' evening as they advance to the final.
4 games to 1. Houston wins the West. The final tonight, 94-83. Let's go to Hannah Storm.
Akeem, your first trip to the NBA Finals is just your second year in the league. What does it mean to you now?
I can't hear you.
What does it mean to you to go to the NBA Finals?
Well, this is a great accomplishment. I'm just so happy. And we just have to celebrate this one before the finals.
You came out with a lot of intensity, but you gave your fans a little bit of a scare in the fourth quarter.
I know it was very tough. I'm just so glad we got this done.
But you have gone from choke city now to clutch city. How important is this for Houston?
The colors of the comeback series.
Coming up, you might face Patrick and the Knicks or perhaps the Pacers. Is there one team that you would rather see in the final?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I rather play New York. We don't know.
All right, perhaps a rematch with Ewing in the works, but they got a lot more work to do than the Houston Rockets. Dick?
So the dream goes on to the NBA Finals against either Indiana or New York, and you'll see Game 5 tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Stay tuned for The Tonight Show, starring Jay Leno, Penny Marshall, Denny Hopper, then Andy McDowell visits Conan on late night, followed by Greg Kinnear, all tonight on NBC. So it is. Hail to Houston in the West. This is Dick Enberg for Steve Jones and Hannah Storm saying so long from the summit. This has been the NBA on NBC.